Okay, got that done. These covers, custom covers, were done by a guy in Savannah. The company was in New Jersey or Pennsylvania, and they just moved Savannah recently, and they're fantastic. And they turned it around in like a week. So very happy with these covers. I got it on the dinghy, or tender. I've been told both the size it's a tender. I've got it on the back bench there and the table, and I've got them up front where the pads are, where you lay out. So very happy about them. Very easy to put on, and they work really well. Now let's talk about the big old bottom paint elephant in the room. Luckily here at Fort Pierce, right next door is Safe Harbor, Harbor Town. They can haul me out. They've got the time to get it done between now and when I leave for the Bahamas at the end of February. So that's happening. No, that is not happening. So here I am back home at Thousand Oaks. Yes, I'm wearing a robe. I edit in my room. What can I say? It's also late at night. That's not what's happening. Got home and I got the bill from Safe Harbor, and it was outrageous. And they had me over a barrel. So I made a lot of decisions over the last 2 weeks, and these were a lot of thought put into it, and a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails. But basically, we're going to go to the Bahamas at the end of February. We're going to float around there, and then I've hired a captain to take us straight down to the BVI, and I've arranged a slip there at Nanny Key and BVI, and Nanny Key is going to paint my bottom. I will say, Marine Max and I have worked together on this. I'm extremely happy the way we've worked together. I'm not going to tell you the details. It's none of your business, but we've worked together on this, and I'm extremely happy. I'm going to do another video, a little more extensive, about exactly how this whole BVI thing came about, the insurance involved with it. That's a big Magilla. So I'll get into that in the next impression video. So back to our regularly scheduled program. So I told you last time that I got Hull Shield on, promo code Hillbilly. So 2 days into it, we get to our first stop, and this incessant beeping starts. And it's coming from the Hull Shield. So I contact April Smith, who, is part of Hull Shield and what have you, and somebody calls me right away, and I have to tell you, the service has been unmatched. I got here at Fort Pierce. I would just turn it off at night, turn the beeping off. Apparently it was a bad cable. I got here at Fort Pierce around 3 or 4 p.m. on a Friday. The owner of Hull Shield drove down from Charleston Friday night, got here at 8:30 Saturday morning, and fixed the darn thing. He ran whole new cables and got it fixed. So the service is outrageously great. So they got that going for them. And like I said, as I get the new bottom paint on and we see how it performs, I'll let you know. But so far, the service is phenomenal. And by the way, his sales associate who came with him vacuumed my salon. You can't beat that service, folks. Not any day. So call Hull Shield and get your boat cleaned inside and out. I decided to turn on the water maker. I haven't turned on the water maker yet because I've been in Savannah, and the water is kind of yucky there. So I got here and I turned on the Spectra water maker. I just want to make sure it was working before I headed over. There it is right there. It's off now, but I turned it on, I flushed it out, and the water's pretty clear here. Made about 30 gallons, it worked perfectly. I just let the water go off to the side because I'm not sure about it, but I just want to make sure it worked, and it did. I'm very happy with it. Overnight, we got a power hit here. It just kind of power went off, came back on, and then this Spectra just went nuts with beeping and screeching, and I had to come in here and reset it, turn it off, and turn it back on, and it was fine. So if your Spectra water maker is screeching a loud noise, a tone, beep, that's because it got a power hit. Okay, let's go up to the bow. So you saw in my last video, we were anchored out and we drug. Hang on, my feet are getting wet. My pants are getting wet. I gotta roll up my pants. Hazards of boating. So we drug, and I was really confused by it. And here's what I found out. I finally marked my chain the other day. I took it all out. I laid a blanket right here, and I just took the whole chain out. I marked it all. I have 150 feet of chain. I'd like to have a little bit more. I probably will add more, but I started marking it, and when I marked it, I realized, let me do it this way so you can see my face. I thought I had let out like 70 to 80 to 90 feet of chain, and in fact I had only let out about 50. So that's why we dragged. It was ridiculous. A little bit better. I don't like marking chains with paint. I've had those in charters and they fade, so I've used a parachute cord to mark it. bright green parachute cord marked at every 30 feet, so that's going to be much easier to see. Whoa! Turned on the water. Standing down here and I just turned on the water, so now my pants are wet. Anyway, here it is. Nice bright and green. Just singed the ends of it here so it'll stay on. Hopefully it'll stay on. We'll see. You really should unravel that. For f***'s sake. Okay, up in the fly bridge. You know, I hadn't operated in the winter before, only the summer and the fall, so the sun's a lot lower in the winter, as we all know, and so I was getting blinded, kind of like I am right now. So I went and got this. It's not a fix-all, but it's a quick fix. Just a car windshield with suction cups, and you just bring it down, and boom, there you go. So it doesn't completely block it, but it knocks it down a lot. And you push a button, it comes up, and you pop it off, just like that. If anybody knows a better solution than this, please let me know. I've been looking around looking for like an actual visor with suction cups, so if you got one, let me know about it. And my friend Glenn, who was on this last trip, who is very good around bars, let me know that this was the bar up here. I didn't even know that. You see the places for bottles, so I will be bringing my bottles up here rather than my fire extinguisher. Like I said, he's a pro at barring. Up there's the barbecue. Yes, I have a cover for that too, and as you saw, my friend Scott polished everything. It's gorgeous back there now. Okay, back down here. Two more things. You know, again, first time with a boat this size, I was having other people wash it, and I decided I really would like to wash it myself, and so I did when I was in Savannah, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was fun, therapeutic actually, but I didn't have the right tools. So I was sitting around on the boat in St. Augustine, and I watched this fella pull up, and he had the exact tools I didn't have and I needed. So I went out and got myself a chamois pole. I got me one of these, you know, car detailing suds things, so you can hit it through this bucket and get suds, and then immediately pull out your nozzle and rinse. Suds, rinse, suds, rinse. Brilliant. And a bunch of other things like that to wash the boat. I'm actually excited about doing it. It's therapy. I'm sure I will get really sick of it at some point, but for now it's fun. Okay, I'm gonna sit down. Oh, cause now I'm gonna talk about going to the BVI. Look, it's been my dream from the very beginning for this boat to end up in the BVI. I didn't send it there at the outset because I didn't have time to spend on it last year, and so Savannah was perfect because it allowed me to go back and forth to LA the way I needed to, and it allowed me to learn about the boat before I took off somewhere down there. But I'm working on it. Insurance is obviously an issue, especially spending the entire year in the BVI. They offered me spend the hurricane season in not Grenada, is it Grenada? Yeah, Grenada, way down south, almost to Venezuela. That really didn't appeal to me. So I got a quote for staying in the BVI full time. You know, it's expensive, and at the same time, it came with some weird stipulations. So I'm not comfortable with the policy yet, so I'm still fishing, still looking around. I've got a guy working on it. I don't have to have it renewed until the end of April, so I've got time. As far as getting it down there, I've been warned, don't do it yourself. Look, if I had like a month or so to go slow and wait for weather windows and do it myself, I would, but I don't have that time. So I'm probably going to end up hiring a captain or two to take it down there. Marine Max has some fellows who do it, and they put, you know, gas tanks on the back here, and they just do it in one stop, believe it or not. So that's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment, to get it down there, to go to the Bahamas, and if it works out, have the captains come on board in the Bahamas and take off from there and go to the BVI, and then have the Wandering Hillbilly in the BVI for good, which is where it belongs. It's funny, this channel has been very interesting. It was all about the BVI at first, then obviously the channel kind of segued to Aquila and this boat, and so I've just always wanted those two to coincide together and coexist together, because that's kind of my dream. So hopefully that will happen, and I'll be doing these ridiculous, silly videos from the British Virgin Islands later this summer. We'll see. Okay, I've rambled on long enough. That's it for this one. I'll give you an update on the paint as we go, and I'll be back here late February. I will be crossing over to the Bahamas with Captain Dave. Dave was with me the very first trip I made from Clearwater all the way to Savannah. I felt like I wanted an experienced captain with me the first time I crossed to teach, so that's good. And then a couple of my other buddies are going to come along with me, some guys I work with. I don't know, it's just going to be a bunch of guys, so it'll be fun. thank you for continuing to watch this saga and this fun that I'm having on this boat. I'm just having a blast. See this? See this? Anyway, have a good day. Bye.